Good morning, everybody. If you've been driving a truck for a while, or if you plan on driving a truck, one of the things you're going to come across are some favorite places you like to stop. Stay tuned for that and a couple more tips about trying to keep cool in a truck during the hot summer. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. Today is Friday, July 7th, 2023. I am in Henrietta, Texas. It's off of US 287. If you've been driving a truck and you've ever driven from Interstate 40, especially going eastbound on Interstate 40, and you're coming down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you're probably going to come down US 287. That's going to turn south at Amarillo, and it's going to come all the way down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But there's a lot of small towns you're going to pass going through 287. I would tell you there's also a lot of police officers, up and down this route, so you got to be a little bit careful about that. But there are some rest areas, some nice rest areas. There are some nice truck stops along the area, but I have one favorite down here, and it is in Henrietta, Texas. It's the Pilot down here. Now, it's not a regular like company-owned Pilot. One of the things that you if you go around, you'll notice is that Pilot and TA, to some extent, they do license out their brand, and smaller companies will pay the licensing fee and they'll become Pilot licensed, but they're totally different kind of places. For example, here in Henrietta, which is roughly about 40 minutes south of Wichita Falls and about an hour and a half north of Denton, Texas, or the Fort Worth area, you're going to find not only Pilot fuel, and they've got a couple of showers here and stuff like that, but they've also have a barbecue place and a was it Shake and Steak or Steak and Shake place, and jerky and Stuckey's stuff and all sorts of things. But one of my favorite things here is the Texas Pecan Coffee. I have coffee every day when I start driving, no matter what time I start driving. It's one of those things. I always have one big 24-ounce cup of coffee. Usually I like to put tons of sweetener and creamer and stuff like that. Texas Pecan Coffee, just a little bit of sweetener, and it's just perfect. You can find that here. You can find that a couple other places, but this is my favorite place to stop and to get it. Also, there's usually parking here, and it's free. It's not a huge parking lot, but there's enough, and like I said, you can usually find a place to park here, so it's one of my preferred stops. If you drive for a while, you'll notice that you will come across some favorite places just around the country, and as we go around, and I'll share some of those with you. It's important to have those things, those when you're away from home, to have places that feel familiar. It's very important. So, one other thing I mentioned that I was going to talk to you about is ways to keep cool. It's very important this time of year to keep cool. First of all, got to stay hydrated. Being an OTR driver over the road, I go all over. I've been up in the Northeast. I've been down in Florida. I've been all along the Gulf of Mexico the last few weeks. Just humid, very humid, and very hot, and so you got to stay hydrated. That's one of those things. You got to stay hydrated. I know I just talked about coffee, which isn't the best thing to stay hydrated, but after I drink my coffee, I'm drinking something else that's going to keep me hydrated, whether like a green tea or a sugar-free sweetened tea or tons of water. Just got to stay hydrated. But the other thing is, how do you keep it cool in your cab? Well, when you're driving, of course, if you have an AC, which all these trucks do, you're going to have that on, and you got to find the right setting. One of the tough parts about this time of year is, or really any time of year when you're down in places where there's a lot of humidity, finding the right settings for just the right amount of cool, because if you get it too cool, you can start to get your windows to fog up, and that's not good. So you got to find the right temperature and everything like that. So that's learning a little bit about that. But what about the bunk? Now, I used to love to keep my center curtains open. I liked it. I thought it felt more roomy, that kind of stuff. It didn't feel so claustrophobic. And about a year ago or so, somebody gave me a really good tip, and I wish they would have given it to me before. And they said, why don't you keep those closed during, not just during the winter, but during the summer. And most trucks, my Freightliner here, will allow me to, I'll turn up the AC all the way to start as full blast as I can. And then there's a button over here to have that setting back in the bunk area. And then it'll stay on that setting regardless of what I do up here, whether I turn it down, whether I turn it off, whatever. That AC will continue to blow full blast back there. With the curtains closed at the end of the day, and you go back there and it is so nice and cool. It is so very nice to have that. So there's just a little tip for you. Keep the curtains closed, run that AC, jack it up all the way, put it so that it's blowing back there. Look at the settings on there. I'll show you on the Freightliner sometime how to do that, and it'll be nice and cool back in the bunk at the end of the day, so you can get some good rest. Especially for me, it's hard if it's hot. I can't sleep, so that's one of those things. Anyway, hope you're having a good one. I am actually on my way home. I haven't been home for more than a month, and I just got married. But I mean, well, I've done a 34 during this period of time, but I needed to stay out and take care of a couple of things, because we're getting ready to take a long break. I'll talk more about that soon. But I'm headed home now, and we're going to spend about 6 days at home. We were in 6 days with Crete. For every 6 days out, you get 1 day of home time. I've been out almost 36 days, so I'm going to spend 6 days at home. I'm going to enjoy my time there. My asset manager, Steve, worked really hard to get me home, and I appreciate it. He set me up 4 trips in a row that boom, and then in the middle we swapped one out to get me home even just a little bit sooner. And so I really appreciate Steve, and he's my new asset manager now that Sarah got promoted. Sorry, see, I'm sweating because I have the AC off in here because I don't want the sound going. Anyway, but Steve's my new asset manager since Sarah got promoted, and he's doing a wonderful job, and I really appreciate him. So anyway, you guys have a good one. I probably will film while I'm at home, just once maybe. I'm going to get more consistent with it, I promise. For those of you who have sent me messages and said that it's good to see me back, I promise I am going to post more often. I've said it before, but this time I promise. And I will. So if you have any suggestions for great places to visit, if you're a truck driver, or just even if you've been around the country in places where I can get a truck into to go check out, leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions or any topics you'd like me to go over, leave them again in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me some suggestions. Don't give me a thumbs down, but give me that. Like and subscribe, please. We want to get over 1,000 subscribers, and go from there. So I hope to see you soon. And if you see me on the road, like so many of you have, say hi, because I really enjoy that. I enjoy talking to you. So this is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I'm in Henrietta, Texas. I'm driving for Crete Carrier Corporation. I am psyched. I will talk to you soon.